Hello Blender folks, welcome back. This is epistemic-gnomes and we are unfortunately or fortunately addressing this knee joint automation. I've made some improvements which I didn't share and I'll show here. I'll invest today. We're gonna do different. I will create I have a timer here, a countdown timer, right? Whatever timer, I think. I'll leave 1 hour of live streaming. Okay, it started. And on this 1 hour, I'll see all I can do to try to achieve this thing. So the improvements I've made, they are quite substantial, but it's not completed. There are some issues I'm facing here. So what I've done was the following. I don't really remember totally what I've got previously, but here is the thing. There is this bone, which is like floating, but it has the parenting towards the hips bone somewhere here. Yes, there. Then from this bone there is some right in the middle. Well, it ends right on the joint of the ankle, so the deaf shin bone and the deaf foot bone. Okay, so exactly on the middle it got some starting point for the head of that other bone, which actually I've done something like this. So first, you see, those things are not aligned with world space, so it's a bit more complicated to set this, but what I did here is pretty it's simple, but not totally easy to do. So basically I created the bone from this place, then on normal transforms orientation. Well, first I need to, what I did was I did some, hold on, let's screencast this thing. Okay, so then I have this as the active, and this bone, the new bone that is just a test, right? I will align it with that one, and from then I will rotate on its x-axis rx 90 degrees, or negative 90, but in this case it's 90, and here we go. And then you just have to grow it, and of course parent it to, so it was parented offset to this bone. Here you see. And what does it do? The problem is, I think this is causing some strange behavior because of the constraints. It's something makes this bone rolls. Let's see. Yeah, so this. Okay, so this contraption here, what it does. Ignore if it's wobbling or whatever. But the interesting thing about that. Okay, but there is more things to this. I didn't finish the. So what this has, it just has some stretch towards the shin, but it could actually be the head of the foot. So let's change this. Maybe it's more stable. I'm not sure. So the head of the foot, and for some reason now I'm not sure why the resetting. So this just has got this stretch to bone constraint, this one, but for some reason when I reset, I think this relates to some start positions that are badly done, so, but I'm not sure yet. Oh, I've changed. Okay, I have changed this this needs to, oh yeah, that was the problem. I had put this bone forwards, but actually in order for it to have a more T-pose, right, I need to tweak this in different ways. So let's see. Yes, first it needs to be up, and it cannot be so far away. And then the problem is that the setup that I've made, let me adjust this in some crazy way here. Okay, so this bone actually, it has others differently from this one. This is stretching to the foot, and now if I reset, I think, yes, now it's better. Yeah, so it's not perfect, I think, but it doesn't need to be perfect. What was happening is that this it was being displaced by the starting rest pose, right? So of that bone. So what I need, and this one, which is offset parented, actually it is okay. So this is orthogonal. This is 90 degrees angle. I've done this because this having a bone like this is like being parented offset, and it's a great way to have it following. It's like instead of making a lot of bone constraints, you just do that, and that helps a lot, but perhaps it causes other trouble. I'm not sure, but sometimes this is the best approach. So it may help substituting a lot of bone constraints that otherwise would be very complicated and failing to, because then you have to adjust local spaces and all of that. It's very it's not that simple, right? And not that easy. So depending on the case, it can be really a very painful to solve something that, well, I just want some alignment. But then the bone constraints, there's not something like alignment bone constraint. That would be ideal, right? But we can do with that. Actually, this is a good proposition feature, right? Alignment bone constraint, that would be great to have, right? Okay, let's go back, and then same trick here. There is this is the knee pole bone, which is serving for both the I-key bone constraints from both of these things. And yes, I've augmented the size of this because this bone, which is just a mechanical bone, just like this one, this is being stretched to this one, but it requires some fixing here. So not to the head, to the tail, and let's reset. That's it. So the tail of the bone, it's there. But there's some. Okay, so what this happens, what this does is that this bone now is not really relevant that it rotates anymore. So it doesn't. I'm not making it roll right on it. Because I found that, well, this is just a spatial locator for this thing, right? The centralization of this one according to the top of the leg and the bottom of the leg, those joints. And so you see, this helps maintain, but I'm not exactly sure if that is how relevant it is, but it's some reference, right? However, as you see, this now is tilting, this bone is tilting, so it's not, perhaps not very smart, but we'll see. The fact is that now this bone is being stretched towards this, and this bone is it's following, right? It's just following its parent, but I can still pose it. So let's see what this thing, so that's why I augmented this thing, because then I can have yes, because then it's further away from the knee. Pole target starts further away from the knee itself. So what this contraption does, well, here we have some issue. So this is not the but in many cases it is valuable, because one good thing that I have here is that now you see, as I pose this sideways to the side, world axis, right, along this axis here, then this mapping bone is pushing the knee pole target, and so this is giving some direct orientation. The unique problem, one of the problems here, is that it's not perfectly aligned. So, but I found out that I can use the rotations of this bone, because of this stretch to bone constraint. I can use these rotations to manipulate this the pole target from this one, though not from this one. So the problem is that the alignment, if I just move like this, is not very nice, is not automatic, so it's not very convenient, but it gives some controls. And actually another thing that I don't like about these rotations is that, okay, this gives some, it's not that automated, and the other problem is that maybe I still would like to have the rotations of this particular bone, this master leg bone, to do something else. So I'm not convinced this is the best, a really smart approach. But the cool thing is that I have now some sort of method for easily getting this the knee to the sides in some sort of easy automated way. So I can, yes, make this lots of leg movements with just those two bones, and if required I can still move this away, but in principle we don't want to. And so here you see so in no way I'm losing the control of the knee mesh. Well, sometimes it's kind of fluid, right? So it has got better features than before. And let's see that one. Yeah, so if I needed to have this very upwards, in this case I just rotate this, not too much because that it will make the shin mesh rotate, but that's what I would need. And this thing kind of works, so I'm mostly satisfied in the sense that I could use this for 3D animation. Like, remember, I'm just doing this because I want an alternative to joint pinning, to knee pinning, or that means an alternative to a very specific feature of, right? So the knee is pinned here, the thigh doesn't move. It's like I'm animating on F key, right? But at the same time, this is I key. and this is I key too, but I'm moving it more like as it was an F key for the rest. And so this is a double I key rig with 2 master bones for the whole leg, right? This, and with this controlling contraption automation for the nipple target. And well, what can I would still like to improve here? I think my mission regarding production here, pre-production, sorry, the rigging, regarding this setup. Oh, hold on, this starting position has some issues. I think this must go up. What is actually happening? I think, oh, that's it. Maybe let's get these bones down. Let's start this up. Let's reset. Okay, it's yeah, this is a rest pose issue that I never fixed, and I believe I'll have to make changes here also to the whole rest pose. I intend to make some oh, this still requires some distance, so I'm not sure if I can get through this. Yes, that's it. So this was one issue, and now no, I cannot do this, but I can perhaps get this further away. Yes, this is starting to get complicated. The problem here, what makes this most confusing, is that you see my rest position for the leg is for the mesh, and for the deformed bones is this one, and there, and some other mechanical bones, whatever, and even control bone. But then this is also a mechanism bone for the I key target, and this, no, actually this is not for the I key target. This is for the, although it could be, this is something I need to test out later, but doesn't matter. These things will make all this go here and be properly controlled, like as this started there on the proper alignment, or inversely in some sense, as if the rest position was T-pose. So, and what makes this thing particularly complicated is that I have these I cannot see the T-pose on rest position, so I have to, well, actually I can. Hold on, let's use the cage. Maybe it's a good, wait, it has got the cage, but not, it must be this way. Yes. Alright, I'm not sure if, yeah, but that's in for edit modes of the mesh, so that's not what I really, this edit mode, but for the armature I cannot see that cage mesh, so I don't think this is relevant. Anyways, the problem is that I have to make sure that this rest position, the rest pose is also looks good, and something is as I pose it is. Wait, I think I've got some misalignment, but we can fix this immediately. Oh, this bone has no, is parented to nothing. Maybe just parent to the root then, not sure, but, and this one also not parented to nothing. Okay, let's also, I hope this doesn't destroy the rig in any ways. In principle it should be stable. Okay, so everything seems to be working as usual, as normal. It's just although let me just see if that, oh no, don't do that. Okay, never mind. I don't want to unhide everything, right? I just want to be checking those bones. So what I need to do now, yes, I was fixing the rest pose, right? So you see it's been compressing the knee mesh, even though if I push that down it doesn't compress. If I push that up, well, the leg goes up. So it's really here, but as I push this down, does it really push the, it does. Okay, so it was just something about, yes, so I need to get this a little more down, and the other opposite side is just like that, because I need to resymmetrize these bones so that they get symmetric bone constraints and all that after the change that I've made to the left side. So let's see here. Okay, so what's happening there to the leg? Of course, it's because in this case I need to rotate that up so it gets good. What about in this case? We need to rotate. Now this Z rotation, it looks good, and the Y rotation, wait, the Y rotation does that. Oh, I've all selected, I just need that. So Y rotation does nothing, it's really the Z and the X. Alright, so here we can just do that, and then of course this, I don't want to constrain those bones, because I could, right, one to another, because this would create stacking transforms to 3D animation. Actually, they are already related in some way. No, they aren't. They are, both are parented to the same parent bone, which is the root bone. So okay, so I'm not satisfied with this motion. I'd like to have, what if I changed this size and maybe there is no reason to have this orthogonal because it will be changed anyways. So maybe the ideal thing would be to have it there, but then I'm not sure I can confuse, because the leg starts on this position. I don't have the setup here for this on that position, so this is something we need to make some abstraction. But in principle, the bone constraints will solve this issue. They will automatically make these things for the rest pose. But if it were not for the bone constraints, that would be kind of very hard to solve. But I'll save here and I make a new version that will be ignore rest pose. This is another experiment, so let's just make change in the day here, and that will be here. Okay, then this time let's try something different. Let me instead, I will destroy this positioning, and we will be doing this. So this is not, they just have this start position. Maybe because this is crossing the knee, I don't know, maybe this would make some better alignment for something that is hard to explain here. So let's see what does that, if this gives any improved thing. I need to reset here, and maybe, yes, this was my curiosity, but let's try this out. Okay, so here we're facing the same issue, and now because this doesn't go as far as it did before, apparently it's more difficult to have these things working properly here on an automated way. So okay, I shouldn't change these bones. So apparently this didn't sorry this didn't help that much, this change. And also to the sides, it's really, I also don't see any real advantage. The issues and the pros and cons seems more or less the same. And this is kind of unstable right now, so it's like, it's really not very cool. And let's see, what else could I do to this? Yes, because apparently this has lost some length, and then but it's stretching anyways. So let's try something like that halfway and see if this, no, this is even worse. Okay, no, hold on, well, this, yes, it is bad. So no, this idea doesn't contribute to nothing. Hopefully I was organized enough, and so I don't need that. I think I'll just delete and keep that one. And so this is where I stopped. And so here we need to make these rotations. This is because of, it's not because of some algorithm, it's because of the pole angle, especially pole target. Alright, so what I still would like to improve here. Well, okay, let's fix the other side. I've had enough, and I think you also had enough. So symmetrize all this stuff, and as you see, now everything is good, symmetrically good. And let's hide the other side. Alright, so it could be that besides the stretching, the stretch to bone constraint, this could have more dramatical transformations. Yes, the idea to have it stretch, maybe it's not as interesting as another orienter. How do you call it? But I was making attempts with that. What I mean is tracking bone constraints. For example, what if we used a template track? So I've put that, I've ignored the stretch to bone constraint. So let's see, it was the, so here it is, the dumped track towards this bone, and it will use its y-axis, or negative, no, positive y-axis, not to the head, of course, to the tail. Influence, maximum influence. Let's see now. Okay, the interesting thing is that this thing gets really lengthy and it perhaps prevent or makes it easier to solve certain, perhaps makes it easier to solve certain positioning. Let's see this radical positioning, by the way. If I wanted to make a rapid shift here of posing, and because, well, yeah, you can use other system, you can, yeah, but this is an experimental thing, and I doubt any of those solutions that already exist, they have a setup like a double I key, multi-I key system for the limbs, right? So this is why also I'm using this sort of adaptation. So what I was checking here? I don't even remember, but the fact is that, oh yes, I was just checking if the shifting from that lateral pose of the leg for this back posing of the leg was easy to do. Yes, it's easy. It's not really required. Yeah, it's a bit annoying. I won't say it's the best thing of the world, but the good news is that, yeah, it works. It works more or less smooth. It is feasible, and it grants this double thing, right? We can solve everything by just posing those two bones, pose, rotate, and okay, so I've made that change, and let's see the difference, right? I still require to do that, but as you see, because this thing still doesn't lose its length, it doesn't stretch too, so it doesn't stretch and squash this bone, it is easier for posing. So that's interesting, and I think so in this case dumped track trumps hate to use that expression now, but yeah, dumped track trumps stretch too in this case. It's more sophisticated, right? Yeah, so what we could do more here about this, well, just see. No, not sure. Okay, so what I need here, front, and yeah, something more like that, right? So an interesting point about this, yes, because as it goes to the center of the bone, the dumped track, and not to the tail, the angle here is better. But is it better for other poses, like here? Let's see. No, it was worse before, so apparently a smaller dump track would be better. Is that correct? Is it true, folks? Well, here we got a problem. It's too small, so it doesn't get enough distance for the sheen. Yeah, and all this is happening, or a great deal of this is happening because in this time this pole target is the same for both, and this makes things, yeah, this makes the it requires lesser bones to solve, but then the good position for this bone for both, it's like I have to solve two automations simultaneously to get a good result, and that's why. So this is not good at the maximum, it's not good at minimum. It was maybe something like 0.4. I could also tweak this original length of that bone. This can be the smartest idea here. And so here we got some inversions, right? I think, because yes, total inversion. So it doesn't, let's stick it here, but for now, but let's try that. In principle, the starting position for this doesn't really matter because, well, provide they start in the same, those two I'll show here. So remember this. I will make something crazy here. Okay, so this is a crazy displacement. Here we go. Okay, so you see that craziness didn't affect the rest pose, nor the why? Because as soon as I go to pose mode, this bone gets bone constraint, which is the dump attractor, this whatever this is, and this starting position for this bone is here. It's not constrained to anything, so it's just parented to the root bone, and so that's why this starting position apparently doesn't matter at all, and maybe not even for the pole angle apparently. So this is like of course it's kind of bizarre, so why would I do something? Well, the cool thing here is that I augmented it, so we can make some fast tests here. Okay, so this doesn't solve anything here. And does it solve here? No, also bad here. So it doesn't solve the rotations, augmenting the length. So let's load, because I don't want to redo this. So what it taught me is that this thing doesn't matter right now on its rest position. This matters though, because then you see how they start. So now this is a bug in Blender. Actually, I need to bug report this. I guess no one has found that yet. Let me show here, then I can present them the timestamp here. As if I want to, for example, let me add the cursor to selected here, 2, right? Then okay, then I pick this bone, I want to get it to here. So I Shift S and selection to cursor. But as I press 8, you'll see I'll press 8. Instead of making this selection to cursor, it will do something else. So let's see what happens there. Let's do it again. So if I press 8 or click here, it goes there, okay? So let's see again if 8 appears. No, 8 doesn't appear, but I guarantee I'm pressing 8. But why it is not working? It's not working because of the bug. As I press 8, the cursor is hovering over these other options. So it doesn't use the... So I cannot rapidly do this with keyboard shortcuts. I need to go somewhere like here and then press 8. Otherwise it doesn't work. So I need to do that and press 8. It's like illogical, right? I would need to just press 8 anywhere and it would do my stuff. Eight. Okay, so that was the bug I want to report. Alright, so that's off. It's this very important thing, right? For workflow, because always that happens to me. Okay, so let's go see now how is my time. I have about 20 minutes left, and I don't know what else maybe I can do to improve this rig. But this is the last attempt I'm doing here. Thereafter, this goes experimental on my stack of activities, and so I'll never be touching this again for this character, and only for its dedicated experimental sessions, which I do it myself, whatever. On separated time, it low priority, right? It would be low priority. So I have about 20 minutes to figure out if I can improve this in some other ways. Okay, so this is something that is annoying. I'd like to have rotations here. This bone can do that, but what if this bone rotated automatically? And that it would change the pole target along. So yeah, so as it moves, it also rotates. I don't know, folks. I could, if I use that bone as a reference, I can't even do that, right? Because it's not, and it has a dumped track. It's not a good reference. Maybe I could use a copy rotation, right? But to what? I've got some idea here. Okay, this is can be pronounced because this already got a copy rotation here. No, this one actually, yes, and then this one is okay. So, but this bone is free, so okay, so this can work. I never attempted that. Let's try this. I want to copy rotation here. Only rotation. So this bone has, I will avoid rotating it, but it will suffer the rotation. Oh, but the rotation is not the, oh, it is. Here we go. Ah, that is interesting. So let's see what we can do with more controls. True. Yeah, what's happening here? Okay, I need to fix that. Okay, but then as I rotate here, there is this yeah, because I rotate that, but then this thing needs to be moved also, so it gets some desynchronized, but it was already getting desynchronized, right? So, and what I cannot do certainly is rotate both them simultaneously, because this is not supposed to be rotated anymore. Actually, yes. Okay, we can't rotate it anyway, so that's good. And so the interesting thing here is that I have one less controlling method for this simplifies certain things. Okay, this also is, but then this is a big problem, right? So this rotation, not good, not good. Also this, very bad. So okay, so we perhaps if we only had the rotation for the why world space? Maybe local space would be better. Yeah, really not any big change here, nothing except this is still very bad, right? So what we want is that we don't want to copy any kind of rotation, we just want to copy the X. No, it's the opposite. We don't want the X, we want perhaps the Z and the Y. The Y is not relevant. Yeah, the Y is useless, so we don't copy, we just copy the Z. Alright, so as I copy this, I have some, yeah, this rotates, let's say, the thigh and the shin and the foot. But there isn't a, no, this is a problem, because if my foot lose its autonomy, right, to do, okay, so although this sounded cool, well, it is a cool controller, right? The problem is that if I wanted to make it different, it will give me stacking transforms. Like if I wanted to have these transforms on a control bone, an extra control bone for the foot and for all that, instead of having both selected like this, right? I would have this rotation for the foot and then another rotation for the extra bone, and this will be stacking, and this is annoying. So I don't want that. I'm trying to find out experimentally some solutions, alternative solutions to stacking transforms in rigged models, and so this is for Blender 3D animation. It's just an intuition, right? But it's based on some experience and insights that I've been having, and I think this is very important actually for an ideal 3D animation, right, process. Maybe it's not good idea. Maybe it poses some other grave issues. I don't know. That's why I need to find this out. But it's an intuition, and I think it's valuable to keep investigating. So this is something I'm up to. Okay, so I cannot use this thing, copy rotations. What I could do, however, if I pick those two, this is another interesting controlling method, right? I never done that before, so this is kind of cool. I've just found a better way to control my own rig. Okay, so this. Why I can't move this up? Okay, again, this is the problem. So this fixed by this kind of rotation, right? But it's annoying, right? I wanted to have this. So what I could do perhaps is to get this thing, copy some sort of rotate, or this one perhaps. There are many possibilities, but I think my time is ending. 10 minutes left, is that it? Yes, 10 minutes left. What can we do here? Sorry, I need to think, but I want to keep doing this until I find if I find something interesting. But in principle this is working. I could end it right here, because why make people suffer wasting time? At least it's recording, so we can get some ideas here. So the only method that I know for is the transformation bound constraint, but I'm kind of annoyed by this bound constraint because it's too difficult to set up especially on this kind of yeah, it's not very let me see. Okay, so we got this. I could have an extra controller for both, and like say, well, never mind what I said about stacking transforms. Would there be a way okay, there's a way to make the stacking transforms not so horrible. It's doing the opposite, the inverse, right? So instead, the foot bone will have a copy, the master foot bone, master foot IK bone will have a copy rotations towards this bone. So now I can't move it, correct? Then let's make local space. Okay, but what's the purpose of that? Of course I will unlock it, or maybe not. Why would I unlock it if I can move the foot? Oh, there's a problem. Yeah, there's a problem. I will have to unlock it, because this will limit some wait, maybe not. Okay, then this rotation is problematic, this one, because it... But maybe this idea is not too bad. Rotate the foot from here. Let's ignore this thing for now. Then it is locked. It can move still, but then yeah, this doesn't facilitate this kind of stuff. But then look, the cool idea about that. Now there's not... Yeah, the foot doesn't... And I certainly don't want to copy locations. Okay, so this is just... this doesn't really... This is the cool thing, but besides that... of course, in this case, we need to remember this. Oh, I remember. I just remember why I was doing that. Because then I can have this manipulation, right? Sort of double manipulation with just one bone selected. But the bad news about that is that I get this lock, but then maybe I can add. So now I'm having copy transforms, and so this means that in many points of the animation I might have a hard time to I lose my original reference. Then I had to reset the rotations to know where I were at. So this can create some complications. We can get lost in the middle, and it's not that terrible, but then if we reset the position, we need to create at least a new keyframe for that. Yeah, it's something additional to be careful about. And then you see my foot gets unaligned. Yeah, it gets unaligned. Or not. No, it's not getting unaligned. Strange. This was some visual effect, perhaps, or something else. Okay. No, it doesn't get unaligned, so that was not the problem. The problem is just that, yes, there are some stacking rotations. Well, this is an interesting controller anyways. A method of... The problem is that as I rotate this... Yes, I have two ways of controlling the foot. Then this rotates like... I can rotate more than this. I need to derotate the bone, but it's actually... It's cool, it's plausible. We can just turn it off anytime. Yes, then there is this problem of the rotation, these rotations that rotates the foot, and sometimes perhaps I just wanted to rotate the knee or vice versa. So this would mean that this thing would be unlikely. So I would need to find another control method for this automation, right? And instead of the rotation, right? Instead of the rotation, something else. Yeah, so this is a bit difficult to figure out right now. What could make... I cannot use the damped track because it on the tail at least, but on the head it will be horrible. It's really... But it will stop the rotations would stop affecting it. So there's an advantage. We're getting to something here. Let's see. Yeah, I'll save here because this is getting interesting. Okay, let's reset here to fasten up. Oh, the starting position is horrible, yeah, because of the head thing. And so the dumped track is a problem for this, because we want another system for this. Or we can just use this and then repose this thing, right? But I believe here we would have a better solution. Yeah, my time is ending for this, but let's make an extra. Let's just try to fix this, to find some solution for this, another alternative for this, because I really like this idea here. It fastens up the idea. Oh, I need to rotate the feet, but I don't want to click here. I just rotate from here. So, and it also gets some easier alignments, but here I would need to have this thing. Okay, if I have the pivot point, this is dangerous. If I have this bone inverse, then its head will be here. Well, it wouldn't help for the dumped track. Maybe if I created another mapping bone here. But then the rotation of this bone would still, unless it kept the head reference. Alright. Any other possibilities? Okay, I'll give myself extra 10 minutes and that's it. Let's go. Where is extra 10 minutes? There we go. Okay. Because we are getting hot stuff here now, exactly by the end, so I won't delete this because then I forget that I have this stuff. This thing needs to have this automation. Yeah, the problem is that this was really crucial to the rig. It was also a very good solution which I found, so really hard to compensate this with anything else at the moment. So can't help but these rotations affecting everything. Maybe I could have this this bone a bit larger indeed, and so just have this improve in size, then here and here. This doesn't really solve much, does it? What's happening? Oh, selected multiple bones. Testing always. Then yes, we can make. Why this bone is so far from? Oh yeah, I have myself pushed it too far. Okay, that was it. Alright, so apparently I don't have any. Guess I've just started after finding all those things, so I have to think more and make more experimentation, but then not live streaming for this. I need to make up my mind and also revise the other tutorial, the original tutorial, maybe see if there's. But I like this improvement here. I think this facilitates this, although it creates these stacking constraints which is annoying. So maybe I could on occasions just avoid this by unchecking. But for now I kinda like some part of the automation. And in case you're curious, the shrink wrap bone constraint here is for the floor. This is a trick that okay, for this I will need the more bones to show the hips bone. No, not the hips, sorry, there's something I would need to fix here apparently. Yeah, I don't know what's that. This is another topic, maybe something that I need to adjust after I've made all those things. I didn't test the whole rig, but something, probably some wrong parenting around. I think it's something related to the hips bone. Yeah, I see that way. It doesn't matter. So, but that's not what I wanted to do. Yeah, I wanted to check the floor thing. The floor. Yeah, long time I don't. Okay, there are keyframing. I can do anything here. Okay, never mind. Let's not use this. There are a long time I don't use these things, so need to revise. That's it, folks. Thanks for watching, and then see you next time. I'll see if I get something else different from lab, maybe some demo or something more didactic, right? Instead of this experimental contraption. It takes a lot of time and maybe not be very interesting, but occasionally something cool happens. So see ya, folks. Bye.